How to check the balance transportation? If the supply is equal to demand, then it is called as the balanced transportation. So we have to solve the given problem as an assignment problem. Then check the complete cycle or alternative cycles. If the cycle is completed, then we have to go for the next step. CPM is a statistical technique of the project management that manages well-defined activities of the project. Hello dear students, welcome to this session of question paper solving session. I am Mr. Niranjan, faculty, Department of Computer Science, Vidhyaashram First Grade College, the Temple of Excellence. Today in this session I am going to remaining two questions, that is question number 15 and 16. In previous classes, in previous session we have discussed regarding part A and two questions in part B. Remaining two questions in part B I am going to discuss now. That is in 15 question we have find the initial basic solution for the following transportation problem using northwest corner method. This is the problem for 8 marks. In the previous session we have discussed regarding the methods of solving the problem. So in the examination, if they ask solve the transportation problem, the step-by-step procedure to solve the transportation problem, you can choose any method, either northwest corner method or least cost method and Vogel's method. So you can follow the step-by-step procedure. Now here specifically what they have mentioned, solve using northwest corner method. So what is the problem given here? So warehouse, the factory, the number of workers W1, W2, W3 and requirement F1, F2, F3. These are the requirement given. Now just check whether the given problem is balanced or unbalanced transportation problem. So now check whether this is the balanced transportation or unbalanced transportation. How to check the balanced transportation? If the supply is equal to demand, then it is called as the balanced transportation. Now here, what is the supply and the demand here? Now let us come to the supply and the demand. So here, what is given? Check this. This is 18 plus 9 plus 7. So 18 plus 9 plus 7, that's equal to 34. And here, whereas the demand, that is 14 plus 7 plus 8 plus 5, this is also equal to 34. That means the supply is equal to demand, therefore this is a balanced transportation problem. Now just go on following the northwest corner method. Just first step, find out the northwest element. North, this is north, south, east, west. Find out the northwest element. So here the northwest element is 19. For this 19, just find out the minimum of the supply and the demand. What is the minimum of supply and demand? Here the supply is 5 and the demand is 7. So you can allocate 5 here. Minimum is 5 and this 5 gets cancelled. 5 minus 5, this is equal to 0. And here 7 minus 5, that's equal to 2. Okay. Next, once if this becomes 0 means the entire gets cancelled. Now again find out the next element 30. So here in 30 just find out the supply and the demand. What is the supply and demand? That is 2, 8 and 2, which is minimum. 2 is minimum. You can allocate 2 here. 2 minus 2, this is equal to 0. This is 8 minus 2 is equal to 6. Once this becomes 0 means you can cancel this entire row. Now find out the next northwest element. Northwest element is 30. So in 30, just identify the least value of supply and the demand. This 6 is the least value. You can allocate 6 here. 6 minus 6 is 0 and 9 minus 6, that's equal to 3. Once this becomes 0 means you can cancel this column also. Now just next find out the next northwest element. The next northwest element is 40. For this 40, just find out the supply and the demand. That's equal to 3. Minimum is 3. 3 minus 3, that's equal to 0 here. 7 minus 3, that is equal to 4. Once if this becomes 0 means you can cancel that particular row. Now again find out the next northwest element, that is 70. Here in 70 find out the least supply and the demand value. So the least value is 4. You can allocate 4 here. 4 minus 4, that's equal to 0. Here 18 minus 4, that's equal to 14. Now just next, once if this becomes 0 means you can cancel this. Now find out the next northwest element. The next northwest element is 18. So allocate the supply and the demand. What is the minimum value? 14 is the minimum value. See here it is 14. 14 cancel. This 14 also gets cancelled. This is equal to 0, right? So this is also 0. Once this cancels means we can cancel the entire term. So now see here in the last value 14, this gets cancelled. Now just find out the cost. What is required to find? The initial basic feasible, that is using northwest corner method. Find out the cost for this transportation. So this can be calculated. Just multiply this 19 into 5 plus 30 into 2 plus 30 into 6 plus 40 into 3 plus 70 into 4 plus 20 into 14. That will give the final answer. So that's equal to, the answer is, that is 5 into 19 plus 5 into 19 plus 30 into 2, 30 into 2 plus again 30 into 6 plus 40 into 3 plus 70 into 4 plus 20 into 14. This is the simplified answer. So if you simplify this, see 20 into 19, 20 into 30, 6 into 30, 40 into 3, 17 plus this is totally, this will give rise to 1015. So therefore, the cost of transportation is rupees 1015. That's it. This is how we are going to solve the problem. Okay. Now let us come to the next one. Next, question number 15B1. So in question number 15B1, solve the following assignment problem. So this is an assignment problem. We have to solve this. Now just what is given? Jobs and the person. Now A, B, C, D, P, Q, R, S are the person and the jobs are A, B, C, D. We have to assign the particular job for a particular person. Now for this, what is the common procedure we are going to use? So first find out row minima, column minima, row scanning, column scanning, and just simplify, you will get the answer. Now let us come to first row minimization. Now this is the problem given: 8, 26, 17, 11, 13, 28, 4, 26, 38, 19, 18, 15, 19, 26, 24 and 10. Row difference. Now just find out the row difference. That is called a row difference, or it is also called as row minimization. Let us come to the row difference. Let me write the row difference here. Row difference or row scan, row difference or row minimization. Row difference. So here in the first row, so what is the minimum value? 8 is the minimum value. Subtract each and every element by 8. 8 minus 8, 0. 26 minus 8. 26 minus 8 is equal to 18. Again, 17 minus 8 is 9. Again, 11 minus 8 is equal to 3. Similarly, the next list value is 4. 13 minus 4. 13 minus 4 is 9. Again, 28 minus 4 is 24. Again, 4 minus 4 is 0. 26 minus 4 is 22. So let us come to the next row. In the third row, the minimum value is 15. So 38 minus 15 is 23. Again, 19 minus 15 is 4. Again, 18 minus 15 is 3. 15 minus 15 is 0. Okay. Now let us come to the last row. In the last row, the minimum value is 10. So 19 minus 10 is 9. 26 minus 9 is 10 is 16. Again, 24 minus 10 is 14. 10 minus 10 is 0. This is called a row difference. Now after finding the row difference, let us go to the column difference. Now similarly, find out the column difference. Column difference. Now column difference. In the column difference, let us write the first, second, third row and first, second, third column. So what is the minimum value? 0. If 0 is there, means there is no difference. 0, 9, 23 and 9 as it is. And what is the minimum value here? 4 is the minimum value. You can subtract 4. 18 minus 4 is 14. 24 minus 4 is 20. And 4 minus 4 is 0. 16 minus 4 is 12. And similarly, in the third column, what is the minimum value? 0. If you subtract 0 from any number, you will get the same values. 9, 0, 13, 3 and 14. And whereas in the fourth column also, 0 is the least value. It will remain the same. It won't change. This is how we are going to find the row difference and the column difference. Now let us come to the scanning, row scanning and column scanning. This is column scanning. Now I will come to the row scanning. Row scanning. What is row scanning? Now come to row scanning. Now from this, let us take. So first identify the 0. So in the first row, how many zeros are there? 1 0. If 1 0 is there means you can box this and cancel that particular column. So we are doing row scanning. So in row scanning, let me write the elements here. What are the elements? 0, 14, 0, 14, 9, 3, 9, 3, then 9, 20, 9, 20, 0, 22, then 23, 0, 3, 0, and again 9, 12, 9, 12, 14, 0. Okay, now let us come to the row scanning. Row scanning. In row scanning, first come to the first row. In the first row, 0, this is 0. If the 0 is there in the first row means cancel that particular column gets cancelled. Next, second row. In the second row, here it is 0. You can cancel this particular column. Whereas in the third row, there are 2 0. If there are 2 zeros, we will go for the next. So in the fourth row, we have 1 0. We can cancel this particular column. This is called row scanning. Now come to the column scanning. Column scanning. Column scanning. What is a column scanning? In the first column, there is no 0. In the second column, in the third column, there is 1 0. There is a 0 in the column means after row scanning, first row, second row, third row, fourth row. Let us come to the column scanning. In the first column, we have cancelled. In the second column, there is 1 0. If there is 1 0 in the column means that particular row must be cancelled. See here, now the number of lines, now this is the balanced one. Here it is balanced because the number of rows is equal to 4. It is 4 cross 4 matrix, and the number of lines drawn, now rows is equal to 4. Number of lines drawn is also equal to 4. That means 4 is equal to 4. This is the balanced one. So therefore this transportation has reached the optimality. Now how you are going to assign? So these are the assign here. Let us assign like this. So how to assign? A to P, it is A to P, then again B to C, B to R, B to R. So this is A, B, C, D, P, Q, R, S. Now A to P first, A to P, next B to R, B to R, next C to Q, C to Q, next D to S. This is the assignment. Okay. So A to P, B to R, C to Q, and D to S. Now just find out the values from the given problem. So what is that? A to P means it is 8. So the value is here, it is 8. Then B to R, it is 4. B to R, it is 4. C to Q, C to Q is 19. Then D to S, it is 10. So just add this total. What you will get? Total is equal to, so 8 plus 4 plus 19 plus 10. So that is, let us add this. 10 plus 19, 29. 29 plus 4 is 33. 33 plus 8. 33 plus 8 is equal to 41. That's it. The total cost of the transportation. So the total cost is equal to 41. This is how we are going to solve this assignment problem. That's it. Now let us come to the next problem. Next question. What is the next question? 15B2. States traveling salesman's problem and formulate the traveling salesman problem as an assignment problem. Here, traveling salesman problem. What is the statement? Traveling salesman's problem is a method of assignment problem in which we have to make the decision about the assigning the task to the salesperson. Here, this is nothing but assignment problem in which we have to make the task assigning to the salesperson, and a traveling salesman has to went to the different cities only once. He has to visit the cities only once, but they have to return to their starting point. Now that is called the definition of state's traveling salesman's problem. Now how to formulate? Now the step by step. steps to formulate a transportation problem as an assignment. That is sales transportation problem. That is traveling salesman's problem as an assignment problem involves the following steps. What are the steps? A traveling salesman plans to visit the n cities. If you want to visit n cities, he wishes to visit each city only once. Now step 2, and again arriving back to the same destination, to his home city, same city from where he started, so that the total traveling distance is minimum. Next, so if there are n cities, then there are n minus 1 possible ways in his tour. For example, if the number of cities he visited is 4, then there are 3 factorial different combination. 4 minus 1 is 3 factorial. So such type of problem can be solved by the penalty method. Now, step 4. What is step 4? Solve the problem as assignment problem. So we have to solve the given problem as an assignment problem. Then check the complete cycle or alternative cycles. If the cycle is completed, then we have to go for the next step. So what is the next step? To start with, assign the next least element other than 0 and complete the assignment as that like in assignment problem. Write the optimum assignment schedule and calculate the cost or the time. So we are going to calculate the cost or time. So here very important is solve the problem as an assignment problem. Check the complete cycle or alternative cycle. If the cycle is completed, go to the next step. Then to start with assignment, next least element other than 0 can be considered and complete the assignment. So write the optimum assignment schedule and calculate the cost or the time of the required problem. Now that is how we are going to calculate. This is called step-by-step procedure for a traveling salesman problem as an assignment problem. This is also an important concept. Now let us come to the next question. The last question is 16A1. Explain the general rule for dominance property. This is from game theory. So dominance property. Now first let us know what is it dominance. If all the elements of a column, say ith column, are greater than or equal to the corresponding elements of other column, say jth column, then ith column is dominated by the jth column and can be deleted from that matrix. This is the first, that is called the first dominance theory. What is to explain the general rule for dominance property is, if all the elements of a column, say ith column, are greater than or equal to the corresponding elements of any other column, say jth column, then ith column is dominated by the jth column and that can be deleted from the matrix. Now similarly, if all the elements of a row, first is column, row, if all the elements of a row, say ith row, are less than or equal to, first is greater than, second here row is less than or equal to the corresponding elements of any row, say jth row, then the ith row is dominated by the jth row and can be deleted, and the jth row is deleted from that matrix. So first condition is greater than or equal to, second condition is less than or equal to. That is called the dominance property. Now let us come to the strategy. Now in general theory, the different players adopt different strategies, different types of strategies on the basis of the outcome which is obtained by adopting the strategies. Now here, for instance, the player, for example, the player may adopt a single strategy every time, so as it provides his her maximum outcome, or he can adopt multiple strategies, right? So suppose apart from this, a player may also adopt a strategy that provides him minimum loss. Okay. Now, therefore, on the basis of outcome, the strategies of the game theory are classified as pure and mixed strategy, dominant and dominated strategies, minimax strategies, and maximin strategies. Okay. Now, let us come to the pure strategy. What is pure strategy? Now, so here in pure strategy, this is the simplest type of game, in one where the best strategies for both the players are pure strategies. This is the case if and only if the payoff matrix contains the saddle point. If it contains the saddle point, the payoff matrix contains the saddle point, then the pure strategy, then it is called the pure strategy. Now in a pure strategy, players adopt a strategy that provides the best payoff. In other words, a pure strategy is one that provides the maximum profit or best outcome to the players. Therefore, it is regarded as the best strategy for every player to the game. Finally, mixed strategy. Mixed strategies means where the saddle point does not exist. That is, the max min max does not exist. So that is how we are going to apply the general rule for a dominance property. This is the general rule for a dominance property. Now let us come to the next question. Find the minimax value and maximum value for the following games. So what are the problem? These are the problem given. This is first one. There are two problems. We have to find out the max min and min max values for this problem. Now let us come to the first problem. Here, find out the row minima for this. Row minimum. What is row minimum? Here in the first row it is 1. In the second row it is 1. In the third row also it is 1. So 1 is the minimum value. So find out the maximum in this. Maximin. So maximum in this minimum value is 1. 1 is the maximum. Now similarly find out the column maximum. Column, the maximum value is 6, and in the second column the maximum value is equal to 3, and in the third column the maximum value is 6. So find out the minimum value in this maximum. Minimax. What is the minimum value? This is. So therefore maximin is equal to 1, minimax is equal to 3. That's all. So maximin and minimax value is equal to 1 and 3 for that problem. Now similarly, come to this problem, find out the row minimum here. Row minima. What is row minima? In the first row the minimum value is -1. In the second row the minimum value is -6. In the third row the minimum value is -9. So find out the maximum in this minimum value. Maximin. So maximum value is -1. -1 is the maximum. Similarly, find out the column. In column, just find out the maximum value. Column maxima. So first is row minima, column maxima. In the column, find out the maximum value is 6. In the second column, the maximum value is 8. In the third column, the maximum value is 0. And in the fourth column, the maximum value is equal to 4. So find out the minimum in this maximum. Minimax. Minimum is 0. So 0. So therefore maximin is equal to -1, minimax is equal to 0 for the given problems. That's it. Okay. Now let us come to the next problem. Explain the following types of games and the saddle point. Again, this is 7-mark question. What are the types of games? Zero-sum game and non-zero sum. Zero-sum and non-zero sum games. Now what is zero-sum game? Means zero-sum game or a special case of constant sum of games in which the choice by the player can neither be increased nor decreased. The choice of a player can neither be increased nor decreased the available resources. It will never increase or decrease the available resources. In zero-sum game, the total benefit to all the players in the game for every combination of the strategies always adds to 0. And more informally, a player benefits only at the expense of the other. That is in zero-sum. Whereas non-zero-sum game theory, many games studied by game theorists are non-zero-sum games because some outcomes have net result greater than or less than 0. Because the outcome must be less than or greater than 0. Okay. Now let us come to the asymmetric games. Asymmetric games are nothing but one in which strategies adopted by the player are different. The strategies which adopted by the player are different. In asymmetric games, the strategies that provides benefit to one player may not be equally benefit for the other player. Now, let us come to the second part. What is the second part? The saddle point. Saddle point is nothing but saddle point of the game theory refers to the value of the function of two players, which is maximum with respect to one and minimum with respect to the other. That means if the minimax value is equal to maximin value, then that is called the saddle point. Now let us come to the next question. The last question in this is, there are two questions. Write the difference between CPM and PERT, and what are the applications of PERT and CPM. This is anyway very important question. The last question is very important for the point of examination for 8 marks. So let us come to the first one, the difference between the CPM and PERT. Just write down the difference along with the comparison. Let us compare. Meaning, what is the meaning of PERT? PERT is a project management technique used to manage uncertain activities of a project, whereas CPM is a statistical technique of the project management that manages well-defined activities of the project. What is this PERT means? It is a technique of planning and controlling of time. It is a method of control cost and time. Whereas the orientation, what is the orientation? It is the PERT is an object oriented, whereas this is an activity oriented. CPM is an activity oriented. Probabilistic model, whereas this CPM is a deterministic model. So evolution, this is evolved as the research development project, whereas this CPM is evolved as the construction project. Now focus, the main focus on PERT is time, whereas time cost trade off. So the main focus of PERT is time, whereas the main focus of the CPM is time cost trade off. And appropriate for this PERT is appropriate for high precision time estimate, whereas this is appropriate for reasonable time estimate, and suitable for research and development, whereas this CPM is suitable for non-research project like civil constructions and building, etc. Whereas crashing concept is not applicable, whereas it is applicable for the CPM. So these are the main differences between PERT and CPM. Since there are two questions here, so this is 8 marks, each question for 4 marks. At least if you write any 4 differences, that is sufficient. Instead of writing all the 8, all these, if you write any 4, that is sufficient. Okay, now let us come to the last one. We mention the application of PERT and CPM. So what are the applications? So the applications of PERT and CPM are research and development project, that is R&D. Research and development projects are, this PERT and CPM are useful for research and development project, and also it is useful for equipment maintenance of the equipments, and also it is useful for setting up the new industries. To set up the new industries, we are going to use the concept of PERT and CPM. So it is also useful for planning and launching the new product. So to plan and to launch a new product, we are going to use this. And even for the construction of projects like buildings, bridges and dams, design of plants, machines and systems. So shifting the manufacturing location to the another location is also benefited from the PERT and the CPM method. Now control of production in large scale. So the production of the controlling, that is the production in large shops can be controlled, and market penetration programs, and also the organization of the big programs, conferences, etc. can be developed. So these are the few applications of PERT and CPM. So this is again a 4 marks for this. Just write 4 applications, 2 on PERT and 2 on CPM. That's enough for you. These are the questions which are asked in the previous year examination. I have discussed almost all the problems in this question paper. So in the examination, if they ask to write any step-by-step procedure, you just write down the step-by-step procedure, and it is a question to solve. Just solve the question using that step-by-step procedure. That's it. So hope you followed this. That's all regarding today's session. Thank you very much.